All right, the wait is over, ladies and gentlemen. The time is here. The 2024 NFL season is upon us. I picked all 272 regular season games. I'm going through division by division, team by team, giving what you can expect for the upcoming NFL season. And obviously, all of these predictions will be 100% correct. There will be no misses on this show. We are halfway done. We did the NFC East on Friday. Now we're going to move on over to the AFC East to kick off our second half of the league. Maybe a contentious division, maybe my hottest takes so far with these teams, because I don't know who's coming out of here. We had a couple of playoff teams last year. I think we're only getting one playoff team this year out of this division, but let's just hop right into it. Your Miami Dolphins. Okay, the Dolphins 11-6 last year kind of threw away the division, melted down the end of the season, get one and done, bounced in the wild card round against your eventual Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. And it was just an abysmal performance from the Dolphins. They looked like they rolled over and died. But, we're back at it again. We're getting wide receivers contracts. Tua's getting a deal. And it's like, okay, here we go, Miami. Can we win a game below 50 degrees? But I think there are bigger questions with this Dolphins team. They really got decimated on the defensive side of the ball injury-wise towards the end of last season, and then they get killed in free agency this year. They lose Christian Wilkins in the center there. They lose Deshaun Elliott, Xavier Howard, longtime corner defensive backs, Andrew Van Ginkel, Jerome Baker, just like you're losing guys left and right. Now, they did add a couple of Buffalo Bills veteran guys from the secondary, Kendall Fuller, Jordan Poyer help out there. Their draft wasn't anything special. Chop Robinson, the pass rusher, I don't know if he's going to be able to be an impact player. They're kind of are what they are with the Dolphins. I'm not buying the Dolphins. The offense is explosive. It can be crazy at sometimes. Tyreek Hill is a walking touchdown. Devon Achane, he's a stud if he can stay healthy. But we kind of know what the deal is. Tua is whatever at a quarterback. He can't win below 50 degrees. And guess what? A lot of the NFL season and the most important games in the league are played in places below 50 degrees in that time of the year. It is what it is. I think the defense is going to take a massive step, and that's going to cause real problems for them when they're not able to run these perfectly timed offenses, perfect movements, motions, things like that to get things super smooth. When they get off tempo just a little bit, we've seen this offense completely sputter. If the defense isn't very good this year, offense gets out of sync in a game. I think they get behind early, and it's going to be a real pain in the ass to claw your way back because they really do rely on the running game to set the tone for this passing game, all this quick motion stuff. Now, you do have a free touchdown or a 50-yard play every game in Tyreek Hill. He's still one of the top receivers in the NFL. So you do have that going for you. I need to see more out of Jalen Waddle. I'm just not in on the Dolphins this year. Call me crazy. I'm not buying it. I think this is a dud season for them after back-to-back playoff appearances and one and dones. I got the Dolphins going 8-8, 8-9, and really struggling moving forward on what their future is going to hold with kind of Tua and everything. But yeah, 8-9 for the Dolphins. Okay, the New England Patriots, after a 4-13 season last year, the legend himself, Bill Belichick, is out for the first time in forever. I can't remember a time before Bill Belichick. Maybe a little bit, maybe a little Parcells in there. But yeah, it's a new era in New England. In comes new head coach Gerard Mayo, former Patriot, former Belichick guy, kind of keeping the same MO, but it's a young, we're feeling the vibes here. But man, this team is just bad. They didn't really do anything to upgrade themselves whatsoever. You lose Trent Brown, you trade Matthew Judon. This team has no weapons. This is the worst supporting cast in the history of the NFL as far as skill positions go. I mean, they're awful. They did draft quarterback Drake May, who I was a huge fan of, but he shouldn't play this year. Their offensive line is abysmal. They have no weapons. I do like Jalen Polk, who they drafted out of Washington. I think he has a lot of potential, but everything else there is just like, good God, man. Ramondre Stevenson had a real letdown year last year. The defense should be okay. It was pretty good last year. You're getting back Christian Gonzalez, and they did a good job without him and Judon last year down the stretch, but man, I think it's going to be a long, struggling season for New England. The schedule isn't great. The division is pretty tough. All those teams should be able to tee off on them. Gerard Mayo may seem a little bit over his head. I don't love the little saying, Drake May outplayed Jacoby Brissett, but Jacoby Brissett is the starter. Just say Jacoby Brissett is the starter. We know Drake May is better than Jacoby Brissett, but Jacoby Brissett needs to go out there and put his body on the line, take the beatings, let Drake May develop. Don't ruin him like Derek Carr got ruined by taking 1,000,000 sacks. If you want to play Drake May the last 4 games of the year to try and get it when things are better and teams are kind of checked out, maybe that'll work. But New England, you got to pay the Pied Piper. You had 20 plus years of the most dominant run in the history of the NFL. It's time for you to suffer a little bit. It's time for you to struggle. Easily could be one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NFL this season. I think they're the worst team in the AFC. I got the Patriots going 4-13 and just an abysmal all-around effort for them. But hey, Drake May in 2025, that's what we're hoping for if we're Patriots fans. Okay, before we hop into the second half of that video, if you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, helps us out in the algorithm. Gotta push this thing out there. And if you want to go to one of these games, check out one of these AFC East teams, see how right or how wrong I am about one of these teams. You're going to Miami and telling me Tua's the GOAT. Look at Tua and Tyreek. We're winning the Super Bowl. Check out SeatGeek, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Go in there, let me know, call it out. Great product right there for you got to use. But let's hop into the second half of the video. Okay, the Buffalo Bills. Well, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Bills, 11-6 last year, storm back to win the division, take care of the Steelers in the wild card round, and the Bugaboo Chiefs take them out once again. And it kind of feels like this could be a lame duck year for the Bills. You lose Stephon Diggs, you lose Jordan Poyer, you lose Mitch Morse, you lose Gabe Davis, you lose Leonard Floyd, you lose Tyrell Dotson, you lose Micah Hyde. Matt Milano's out till December with an injury. It's just so many losses out there for this Buffalo Bills team. I'm not a huge fan of Sean McDermott as a head coach. I think he's kind of served his time. He got Buffalo out of the dregs of the NFL. They're an established franchise, winning franchise now, consistently winning the division, consistently winning playoff games. But I just don't think he's that guy to get them over the hump, get them into that next tier of guys. They brought in Curtis Samuel. They draft Keon Coleman. They're big fans of rookie running back Ray Davis that they took out of Kentucky. But I don't know, man. I just think there's not a lot of weapons for this. Josh Allen's still a top 2 quarterback, probably number 2. Maybe he's number 3, but he's still excellent. I do like what they did offensively when Joe Brady took over last season. I think that really helped out the offense. We're going to get a heavy dose of James Cook, and I like James Cook. I think he's a good running back. He's got to catch the ball a little bit better, dropped a couple of touchdowns last year. Dalton Kincaid is a very good tight end. I think he's going to be your leading receiving target this year because there's not much else out there. Are you going to tell me about Khalil Shakir? I mean, he was better than Diggs last year towards the end, but it's Khalil Shakir. Is he going to be a number 1 wide receiver? I don't think so. Keon Coleman's a rookie. I think that's just going to be a hard ask. I think he'll be good or a number 1 wide receiver eventually. I think this is a lame duck year. They've had such a long run of success in Buffalo. Things are getting weird. I think you just have a down year in Buffalo. I think the Bills go 9-8 and do not make the playoffs. Yes, I think it's just one of those years, you've made the playoffs for so many years in a row now. You just fall off a little bit, take a step back. We get a new head coach, maybe get an offensive guy. Josh Allen's still in the prime of his career. He's getting expensive though, and you kind of revamp, retool, and you're right back at it in this division because I think they're set up for success in this division moving forward. One of the teams is super old, and I think the other team is heading in the wrong direction as far as offense goes, and the Patriots are miles away from being a good team. So I think you just have a down year this year in Buffalo, but are right back next year. So 9-8 for the Bills. And finally, the New York Jets, Jets, 7-10 last year. We know what happened. Zach Wilson, terrible, taking over for Aaron Rodgers. Tim Boyle's playing quarterback, maybe the worst NFL quarterback in the history of NFL quarterbacks. But Rodgers coming back from the Achilles injury, and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm all in on the Jets this year. They did trade for Hassan Reddick if he ever shows up. That was kind of a weird move. I don't know why they did that one. They lost Michael Huff. Not great. You bring in Mike Williams, another veteran wide receiver to bolster this wide receiver corps, but they really retooled the offensive line. The offensive line was abysmal last year. Bring in Tyron Smith. You bring in Morgan Moses. You draft Oliwamu Fushanu, I'm butchering that one. Great offensive tackle out of Washington. He's a stud. Malachi Corley at wide receiver, another guy I'm a big fan of. So you gotta do something with that offensive line, and they addressed it. Now this is all gonna rely on Rodgers. Breece Hall is probably the top 2 back in the NFL, maybe 3. Breece Hall is an elite running back. I think Garrett Wilson is gonna be an elite wide receiver. He's really been hampered with how abysmal his quarterback play is. And the defense for the Jets is lights out. The defense for the Jets is awesome. Sauce Gardner is the best corner in the NFL, in my opinion. And Robert Saleh may not be a great head coach, may not be a great overall arching guy, but he sure as shit knows how to coach a defense. He's fully in charge of the defense, and it's not Nathaniel Hackett. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers in charge of the offense. If Rodgers is be able to give anything going, I think this Jets team is going to have an awesome season. They have a couple of cupcakes early. They play a lot of primetime games. The schedule gets a little tougher on the back end, but I think this is just a division wide open for them. I think Rodgers is going to be back. I think he's going to be good. Hey, last time he went on an ayahuasca trip, he won back-to-back MVPs. So maybe Rodgers is ready to go. He went on a trip to Egypt, saw the seance, saw the spirits out there. He's ready to rock and roll. I'm buying the Jets. I know this could be a disaster decision. Never believe in the Jets. They're the Jets. They're always going to jet it up. But I got the Jets going 11-6, winning your AFC East, bringing home the division championship, and possibly even winning a playoff game. I can't believe I'm saying this. So Jets, Jets for the AFC East this year. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Am I too high on the Jets? Am I way too low on the Bills and the Dolphins? Do you think more than one team gets out of this division? It's a tough one. We can all agree the Patriots are terrible, I'm sure. But again, if you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. We're going to be knocking out the NFC South tomorrow as we barrel towards the start of the NFL season on Thursday, September 5th, between the Ravens and the Chiefs. It should be a blast. I love doing this stuff for you guys. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.